Quality customer service with a family touch.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hey there, I have a question for you. Is your roof asphalt and does it look like it needs replacement? Did you get quotes and were you in sticker shock? Would you like to save not hundreds, but thousands of dollars? Did you call RoofMax? Well, call RoofMax with their patent-pending technology, which can add years to your roof without needing to replace it. And it's easy. You just pick up the phone for a free quote. Plus, they use state-of-the-art satellite technology to measure your roof. So, if your roof is over 7 years old, then you should call RoofMax today at 352-639-2777. That's 352-639-2777.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. I am your host, Tom Schmitz, coming to you from the studios of WOCA Radio. Hey, November's National Family Caregivers Month. And the Parkinson Foundation is recognizing the millions of Americans caring for loved ones living with chronic conditions like Parkinson's. Today are two experts, easy for me to say, John Lear, President and CEO of the Parkinson Foundation, and Marie Head. She is a partner and primary caregiver for her husband living with Parkinson for the past decade. Welcome to you both this morning.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
You know, my mother passed away of COPD 11 years ago this Christmas, and my sister was her primary caregiver for 3 years. That's God's work, what you caregivers do. Marie, what you do with your husband, it's God's work, because I couldn't do it. It fell on my sister to do. It's really a tough thing, Marie, that caregivers, people sometimes forget, caregivers are human too.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Tom. I appreciate it. Yes.
John, how's the Parkinson Foundation
It can be a challenge.
Yeah, it can be a challenge. John, how's the Parkinson Foundation making a difference for caregivers?
Yeah, so thanks, Tom. The Parkinson's Foundation represents the more than 1 million Americans who are living with this disease, and the 60 to 70,000 individuals are newly diagnosed each year. We take it as our responsibility to put out as many helpful resources and information to people not only living with the disease, but to those who are caring for those living with the disease. You know, as you mentioned about your mom with COPD, I also had a mother who passed from COPD, and it was my sister who was the one that stepped in to take care of my mom as well. Being a caregiver is never easy, right? You watch your loved one go through a tough disease like Parkinson's or COPD. And, it can be trying at times, and there are so many demands on you, and you have your own life to live, and then you're in a caregiver role too, right? So there's an incredible amount of responsibility. So at the Parkinson's Foundation, we held a number of years ago a Care Partner Summit. We've been doing that every year since then. We learn from care partners and caregivers about, what it is that works, what doesn't work, and we've encapsulated all of that and put resources on our website, parkinson.org, and then specifically parkinson.org/caregivers month. So people can go to that part of our website and find all sorts of resources and materials that will help them navigate a journey of being a caregiver to somebody living with Parkinson's disease.
Marie, what are some of the challenges for people that don't know that caregivers face on a regular basis?
So I think that you would probably have seen this with your sister, you and John both, is that sometimes one of the challenges is that you don't realize that you need to take care of yourself, right? You have to be a self-caregiver. And so if I don't take care of myself, how can I take care of anyone else that I'm caring for that I love, right? My husband in this situation. So, you can get caregiver burnout because of all the requirements of taking care of someone. It can be physical, emotional, and sometimes it can even be financial toll on a family. So learning to ask for help and doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you're up to the job, of being a caregiver. Educating yourself, communicating with the person that you're giving care to, those are all key things to being a caregiver.
They really, really are key. John, what role does the Parkinson Foundation play in this?
Well, so during the month of November, we acknowledge the role that caregivers play in helping somebody who's living with Parkinson's disease. In fact, we acknowledge that throughout the year, but we take some special time during the month of November to say, job well done, keep it up, here are some additional resources to help you. And, we just want to make sure that we're acknowledging it and we're being as responsive to the needs of caregivers because they really are in an important role in caring for the people that they love.
And that is key to give the assistance. Marie, what advice can you share for other caregivers? People that it might not be Parkinson they're dealing with, but the caregivers just in general. What other advice can you give them on how to make a better life for them and the person they're caring for?
I think one of the key things there, Tom, is getting a support system in place. That is big advice for anybody who's caring for someone. And also, knowing who you can call if you need help. If you just need a day away from the person that you're giving care to, who's available, making sure that they understand what your needs are. But taking advantage of the resources, too, and learning about the disease that you're dealing with and communicating about that role. Take care of yourself and ask for help.
Communication and asking for help, two big keys that I didn't understand how important those were. I'll tell you a story. My mother, she at one time had to wear a diaper, and she didn't think my sister got to her fast enough and used the contents of the diaper to make a point. And I knew right at that moment that my sister needed help and that I came in and helped her with my mother and everything. That was the straw that broke the camel's back that got us into an assisted living facility. But, you never know the trials and tribulations a caregiver faces on a daily basis. John, is there anything else we should take note about Parkinson and caregivers?
Yeah, well, I just encourage your listeners to go to our website for anything related to Parkinson's. That's parkinson.org. If you're a caregiver and want to learn more, go to parkinson.org/Caregivers Month. And if you have any questions about Parkinson's, just any questions at all, feel free to call our helpline, 1-800-4PD-INFO, 800-4PD-INFO.
Marie, is there anything else you would like to tell the listeners about caregivers and how to help or sometimes come in and take up some of the time that caregivers are needed for?
It's so good. It's so good that you brought that up because, I always say don't be afraid to ask for help. It's always good if the support group offers the help too, just as you just did.
Well, thanks so much for both of you being here. I know you're on a tight schedule, so we're going to let you go, but thanks so much for spreading the word about this much-needed task of making sure caregivers are recognized as well in this National Family Caregivers Month. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
It's very important that you really reach out to, if somebody's taking care of a family member and they're a caregiver, reach out to them, see if they need some, just giving them a few hours break so they can go have some alone time. Those kind of things are instrumental in helping caregivers keep their sanity and keep the ability to give care and love that is needed in these very trying times. Like I said, my mother passed away from COPD, and my sister was her primary caregiver for 3 years before we put her in an assisted living facility. And look, when it came time to, after the funeral and everything, and, you know, the children all get together and there was insurance left and everything, my older sister said, "How's the money going?" I go, "All of it's going to our little sister." Why? Because you and I didn't take care of Mother for 3 years on a daily basis, 24 hours a day. Lorna did. So she gets whatever money's left from the insurance, she gets. And that was something that, you know, we did because my sister gave up a big portion of her life for 3 years to be a caregiver to my mother and her needs. Hey, I want to tell you there is a bad accident. I want to remind you there's a bad accident still on I-75 northbound, just north of the exit 350, which is 200. Just north of there, there's a bad accident that has been reported in between Highway 200 and Highway 40, northbound 75. So if you're in that area, avoid it at all costs. Joe Martone actually drove under the overpass as he was coming up on as he came up on the interstate and saw the standstill that was happening on 75. Joe, it looked like a mess.
Yeah, and I saw all the emergency vehicles heading up that way, big time.
Yeah, well, there's reports that there's a child seat out on the interstate and everything. So yeah. I hope everybody's safe, and
me too.
I hope everybody, you know, was able to get to safety with that. So you went to OBL this morning. Anything exciting at OBL?
A lot of things exciting. We can talk about after the break if you want.
We'll take a break.
Sure.
We'll come back and talk about OBL and, you know, why he didn't bring me a piece of cake from Vets Helping Vets. We'll do that next. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala.